Deion Sanders is arguably the greatest athlete to ever live. He made the World Series, won multiple Super Bowls, and even became the NFL's first two-way player. But deep down, Sanders was hiding a secret, and it almost cost him his life. But before Sanders stared death in its face, he had to deal with another setback. Deion Lewin Sanders was born to Connie and Mim Sanders on August 9, 1967, in Fort Myers, Florida. And at just 2 years old, his parents divorced, and his father was out of the picture. Instead, Sanders was raised by his single mother and her new husband, Willie Knight.
Mind you, both of my fathers had substance abuse. One of them was alcoholic, one of them was a drug addict.
Yet all the other kids were jealous. See, his future was already laid before him at just 8 years old. With his biological mom's and new dad's encouragement, Sanders started playing sports and never looked back. By the time he reached high school, he had made All-State in 3 sports: football, baseball, and basketball. And it was actually the latter that earned him his legendary nickname. After scoring 30 points in a basketball game, his friends started calling him Prime Time. From that day forward, Sanders was 2 different entities.
Deion is kind of recluse, calm, very introverted. Prime is totally different. Prime is that alter ego that we all have, that I've just have had an opportunity to enact.
In 1985, Prime was named to the Florida High School Association All-Century team. But there was one sport where Prime really took flight. After graduating from high school, the Kansas City Royals selected him in the 6th round of the MLB draft. This man had barely hit puberty and received an offer for $50 grand. But ultimately, Prime pulled a LeBron and took his talents to Tallahassee in 1985.
I was drafted by the Kansas City Royals out of high school. Dick Hauser was the manager. Dick Hauser is the one, the late great Dick Hauser was the one that said, son, if you're good enough for us to draft you right now, I hear you're a pretty good football player. I would go to college and we'll draft you again.
It was at Florida State where Prime made his first of many tough decisions. Limited to 3 sports, Sanders continued playing football and baseball, but dropped basketball to run track. As a freshman, he wasted no time. He played cornerback for the football team, outfield for the baseball squad, and even won a conference championship with the track team. Then in 1986, Sanders continued to shine, making 3rd-team All-American in baseball and All-South Independent first team in football.
Twists his way, finds an alley. Now it's just the punter, he'll outrun it.
The following year in 1987, his generational athleticism nearly backfired. Sanders found himself competing in the conference championships in track and baseball on the same day. First, he played in the semifinal baseball game against Southern Mississippi. Then he jogged to the track complex to sprint a leg of the 4x100 relay. And after the race, Sanders ran back to the baseball diamond to play against Cincinnati in the championship game. The craziest part of it all? Both teams ended up as conference champions. That said, his multitasking wouldn't always be so forgiving. But in the meantime, Sanders was untouchable, especially on the gridiron. As a junior, he played cornerback, punt returner, and kick returner, all while leading Florida State to an 11-1 record and getting voted first-team All-American. And at this point, you can't help but wonder, how did he have enough time for academics? See, that's the thing. He didn't. During his senior year, one thing became painfully obvious. Deion Sanders was destined for the pros. So in 1988, Sanders almost stopped attending classes entirely. And as you can imagine, his ego was mad inflated.
I don't follow trends, I set trends. I don't follow styles, I set styles. I've never in my life looked at somebody and said, let me see what he got on soccer. No. I make you look down at yourself when you see me.
Before a game against the Florida Gators, he pulled up in style.
My last game. That was the curtain call. That was it. That was the last hoorah. How else are you supposed to depart? You're supposed to limo yourself. And don't forget the tuxedo. I had a tuxedo and a top hat too. That's the way I ended my career at Florida State.
Initially, he told the media, how do you think defensive backs get attention? They don't pay nobody to be humble. First, he doesn't show up to classes, and now he's getting dressed to the nines, talking crazy trash. And in the 1989 Sugar Bowl, Prime backed up his swag with a game-sealing interception.
Slack picked off by Prime Time. What timing? Neon Deion.
Following the season, he won the award for the nation's top defensive back and punt returner, en route to becoming a two-time first-team All-American. Yet Sanders still wasn't ready to commit to a single sport, a problem that would soon burn many bridges. While still at FSU, he was once again drafted by an MLB team, this time the New York Yankees.
Going into my junior year in the summer, I signed a Yankees contract.
Right.
Shortly after college, he dazzled NFL scouts with his track skills, torching the combine with a 40-yard dash time of 4.27 seconds.
The fastest man on earth.
4.2 something, because 4.3 wasn't even in the factor.
Hence, in the 1989 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons selected him 5th overall. Deion Sanders was now a professional athlete in 2 different sports. Oh, and he also married his girlfriend, Caroline Chambers, the mother of 2 of his kids. But just when his life couldn't get better, things became interesting. After signing an NFL rookie contract worth $4.4 million, Sanders took his primetime persona to the next level. During his first punt return, he did the unthinkable.
This is a beauty, and Sanders retreats back to the 32, drops the ball again, all the way for a touchdown.
That week, he also became the first professional athlete to score a touchdown and hit a home run in the same week.
You never know what you learn.